Good evening, Europe. Good morning, Australia. And good afternoon, Canada. Welcome, Canada, to the Eurovision Song Contest.
It's afternoon, morning. It's right now. This is like all messed up as well. They have a lot of time zones.
We'll keep
uh,
adding time zones as every
it's
year.
it's another excuse as well to start adding more French to it because
Oh,
they are going to insist a lot.
we will get a song in French?
Could be. We've had some francophone singers actually going from Canada to Eurovision, so why not?
Yes. So today is not all going to be about Canada, but of course, a big chunk of this episode, we're going to disclose a little bit what Canada joining. Yeah, I'm wearing a Canadian t-shirt today in honor of the country
I,
joining
I
us.
I don't have a Canadian T-shirt, so I'm wearing an Australian one.
So we're going to the verges of
Yes.
Eurovision, the borders. So let's get to it. I'm Barbara.
Anna Maria, welcome to the Eurovision Files.
So yeah, we recently got the confirmation. Well, the week prior, we got a notification news
Yeah, the news,
that
yeah.
Canada got membership, full membership for the European Broadcasting Union, and of course, a lot of rumors were thrown online that maybe they were joining the Eurovision Song Contest, and it was just days after that that we got confirmation. We got a press release by the EBU.
Yeah, I think there were so many rumors when we started talking about this membership of the EBU, but did that mean confirmation for Eurovision? Some people started reporting this was confirmed. The reality was it was not. It only happened at some point last week. Um,
Mhm.
I think it's the exciting thing about it is that obviously any singer from anywhere in the world can go to Eurovision and represent a country, but Canada actually has a lot of connection with Eurovision. Obviously, they have had a winner. They've had even recent representation with La Sara and so on. So it's actually really exciting. Although I would appreciate that some questions would come from some European countries that would like to do this as well.
Yes, like Kosovo. We're still waiting for Kosovo,
Exactly.
and also Kazakhstan is trying to get the full membership as well. It's not happening yet, but also I heard that Martin Green said that he was expecting new countries to join Eurovision next year as well.
Yeah, it's a very interesting comment, I would say.
So, which other countries will we see? We don't know yet. But what we know is that Canada is joining, and I don't remember last time we had a new country coming.
Well, we've had returning countries, obviously.
Yes, this
Um,
year.
yeah, new one. I wonder if it might have been Australia actually.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
Potential. Yeah,
It
so
has to be Australia.
which is all right. They've just celebrated 10 years of Eurovision, so
Yeah.
we hope Canada is here for the long run as well.
Yes. And we managed to talk to a Canadian friend, Alexander Plant, who also has a podcast, ESC 101. So we thought about asking him some questions about his country joining Eurovision next year and also potential artists to represent the country.
Hello, this is Alexander calling from ESC 101 Podcast. As an amateur Eurovision historian from Canada, I never thought that my country would be joining the Eurovision Song Contest, yet here we are. I've been a fan for almost 10 years, and based on the lack of contest coverage, I didn't think it was going to happen. Most Canadians don't know what Eurovision is, but we do have dedicated fans like myself that make a big enough impact when it comes to voting and ticket sales. When CBC Radio Canada was an associate member of the EBU, I argued that they should have followed the path of Australia, broadcasting the show for a few years and building up a fan base that would warrant an invitation. Now my country is a full EBU member thanks to the General Assembly allowing countries that are observer states of the Council of Europe to join. They no longer need an invitation. They simply show up and participate. Clearly, my country is committed to joining the contest. We're hosting a national final to select our artist, and the federal government has earmarked money to participate in both the EBU in a general sense and in the contest itself. When it comes to our entry, there are a number of directions we could go in. Personally, I'd like to see an Indigenous artist compete for Canada. I think that the Indigenous cultures of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people are a core part of our identity, but most likely it'll be whoever has the largest fan base. As for possible contenders, I don't think there will be any big names competing. Just like the UK wouldn't send Adele or Ed Sheeran, we won't be sending Justin Bieber or Avril Lavigne, and we definitely won't be sending BB No Money because he's very much anti-EBU at the moment. We'll also probably put in a nationality requirement, which isn't part of every participating broadcaster, but with the CBCs prioritizing Canadian content, we're going to want a Canadian representing Canada. Regardless of who we send, I now have a country to cheer for, which is such a weird thing to say out loud. I can now say, please vote for Canada at the Eurovision Song Contest. Help us to get through to the grand final. If we do manage to win on debut, we'll probably host the next contest in Toronto, Ottawa, or Montreal. But regardless, I look forward to seeing you all at the 2027 Eurovision Song Contest in Bulgaria.
So, having that in mind, I really like the idea that Alexander is saying about having a more ethnic kind of approach rather than sending a mainstream artist to Eurovision as a first time representative of the country. That would make a big impact as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think, obviously, big country, almost continental dimensions, big history. I think it was quite funny. I saw an article from BBC about who are like the main artists from Canada. And of course, they have big artists, but it was, like you say, very mainstream. So I'm hoping that Canada is not going to go the route of sending Justin Bieber, and they're going to have something a little bit more interesting, exciting, someone that people don't know about. The Delta Goodrem times will come, but we want to know more about what's actually in the country rather than those musicians that go worldwide famous. So.
Yes, we need something like very Canadian, rooted in the nation, as a first timer performance in Eurovision. So that would create a big impact. So I would say that there's a little division as well in the fandom, in the Eurovision fandom. Like, a lot of people are praising the fact that Canada is joining, and whilst others are also praising the idea of Canada joining, they are raising the concerns that that would kind of move away from the big question of Israel participation. So some people are not as euphoric about one new country coming when we have 5 countries that are currently boycotting, and we still don't know what's going to happen next year. But more likely, they will still not participating if the situation continues the same.
It feels a bit like they are whitewashing the situation or swiping it under the carpet by just adding a country like this. I'm not saying they don't necessarily deserve it, but if you start adding more countries, it sort of feels less of a need to try to bring back all those countries, or at least get closer in the views between the EBU and these countries. And it's starting to feel like they might get up to 40 countries at some point without those 5, which, let's remember, it includes a big 5 as well.
Yes, a big 5, and then the country that's been winning the most alongside Sweden, which is Ireland.
And a country with, it's, if you start thinking about it, a country as well with a massive tradition, the Netherlands, who organize one of the biggest parties. It does not feel right. And we probably will tend to forget a little bit, but we shouldn't really forget completely that the situation is not resolved.
Yes. We still want Canada joining, but we also miss all these 5 countries.
Exactly. We've said it before. We want as many as possible. I think it feels less of a loss for someone losing in the semi-final if you lose amongst a lot of countries. But when they select 10 out of 15, it's like, oh my God, I was so close. So, if you got 20 in the semi-final and only the first 10 go through, it's like, well, it was a tough one, but yeah, for it, just in the sense of like normal participation, I think it feels better to have those extra countries. So, I'm very happy with that, but I would still want the countries that left to be
Yes.
participating as well.
So let's see what happens with these countries. It's still very early on to plan and to see what the EVU is going to do, because there's going to be another General Assembly, I imagine. But we've heard that there's not going to be another vote. So I think probably all these discussions might be happening behind closed doors, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like the finality of what Martin Green apparently has been saying recently, where this is final, there's no vote, the decision is taken. It's like, well, these organizations should be run as a democracy. I mean, most big organizations, you get a vote. The UN gets a vote, and there might be countries with a veto, but that doesn't mean you don't do certain things. And this is, like I said before, it just feels like they're just swiping it under the carpet, nothing to see here, and it's just not right. I don't feel like it feels right.
Yes. Yeah, it's again, it's another complicated situation. And even though we all should be celebrating, and we are celebrating Canada joining us, there are still some questions that people, as the fans, have, and also probably broadcasters as well.
Yeah.
But yes, in that General Assembly, when they awarded full membership to Canada, there were other associated kind of memberships that were given, and one of them was given to the Catalan television, the Catalan broadcasting. But it's been made clear that with that membership, you cannot participate in Eurovision. It's not full membership. And because some people saw it as a way of Spain coming back to Eurovision, but it's been confirmed that that membership doesn't allow you to participate.
Correct.
So
No, not much more to say.
no, just to leave it there.
Yeah. I think a big question would be for others as well, would have been similarly, if Spain participates in Eurovision, what does that mean? Because obviously Catalonia has their own political situation as well and so on. But I think with that associated membership, I think it just leaves things clear that there's no participation there.
Yeah, at least for the following year. And we had some Eurovision leaks.
It's I was gonna say WikiLeaks, but no, it would be funny to have a Eurovision equivalent to that.
So the thing is that we still don't know the city. Apparently, 4 cities are now bidding to host Eurovision. We are supposedly not to know the dates, but there were some leaks about the arena in Sofia and the dates that they need to be preparing the stage and dismantling the stage. So according to these leaks and some of the things that I've read online, I think it was in the BBC as well, it didn't treat it as a leak, but something like it's there, it's happening like this.
I think the way they're treating it is like this is the preparation plan, and that doesn't mean it's not really public until it's public, but at the same time we need to prepare, and the information is there, read it the way you want it. But I think it feels like a leak because we haven't really had that kind of information that clearly before.
Yeah. So what it means is that what we saw, we are saying this is not official, this is not confirmed. We just saw it online, and it was like in some newspapers, like a given that Eurovision would be in Sofia and on the same weekend that it was this year.
Yeah, I think the final will be the 15th of May.
So that's what we saw. That's what everyone saw.
The
It's
funny
all.
the funny thing is we didn't necessarily see the final date. It's more like they're dismantling things the following week. So it's like, well, if they're dismantling it, it has to be the week before. But it was
Exactly.
like, okay.
So that could be right, that could be wrong, but we of course have to wait until the bidding process it's over and they take the decision, even though, yeah,
I
everyone
think
is like giving that it's gonna be Sofia, but we don't know.
I think to be completely honest with you, I believe what happened is we have seen leaked the the bidding information from Sofia. It doesn't necessarily mean that what we have seen is the final information that is, the Bulgarian broadcaster has already agreed. Sofia will have a plan, all the other cities will have a plan. What we've seen is Sofia's one, so we are sort of assuming that. I don't think it's necessarily gospel at this point. So, what we obviously know, and we've discussed it before, is it is the city that has the biggest potential because of hotels, because of access, etc. So I am assuming there is a massive possibility that this is going to happen, and obviously that would follow that pattern then, like all the information. But I'm sure Burgas and Plovdiv and all the other cities that are doing this are having similar plans as well, and it might involve a different date.
Do you think the different cities will have different dates planned?
Potentially, because let's imagine it happened in Spain, and I'm saying this obviously from the knowledge of having lived there. Each city might have different celebrations. Even each area has like different like festivals that happen and so on. So the date that might be perfect for Sofia might not be great for Burgas. So
Yes.
they might decide that this is not correct. Again, I would say probably 90%. I would expect that what we've seen is what's going to happen, but could we be surprised? Well, probably.
Yeah, we get surprised every year. Well,
Exactly. Yeah.
less
And
with
also,
Vienna.
yeah, and also we have sort of assumed the date was going to be that one because the past few years that has been the
Hmm.
week. But let's remember Eurovision has taken place almost any time in May. I think the first time Loreen won at the end of May. I think the first festivals happened like in April. Obviously, too long, very different. But yeah, I would not say it's a date set in stone.
Hmm.
But obviously for Sofia, probably it works. I think we mentioned last time I believed some of the dates for the arena in Sofia were already taken, so they might need to move things anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but if that's happening all across May, then they might say, well, we might as well just move this date or this week instead of the next one. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I'm sure they will accommodate. This doesn't happen every year,
No.
not in that country.
And I think we're gonna get the information this month.
We are, yeah, 31st of July, I think is the deadline.
31st. Yeah, yeah. So
Very exciting.
exciting. Exciting. So probably next time we speak, it could be talking about the city
I'm
and the
sure.
plans.
Yeah. I'm sure we need a few weeks now to absorb because we know that news are slow anyway.
It's that time of year.
Yeah, exactly. Remember that for us Christmas is in May, so the next couple of months are dry.
Yes. Well, we'll have Eurovision Asia, the pre-selection, well, the national finals. Which, by the way, there's another rumor, and I don't know how much of a rumor this is because it's never been spoken during the press conference in Vienna, that the winner of Eurovision Asia would participate as a participant in Eurovision.
Yeah, well, it was published somewhere that it is confirmed that this is the case, but it is super strange. I don't think it was ever announced. I think you're right.
No, there was nowhere, there was no press release, there was nothing. And we were in the press conference when they announced Eurovision Asia in
Yeah.
Vienna, and this was not mentioned.
I also found it interesting because I would have understood it more if they had said the winner would come as a guest. Totally fair, I would get it. But I think the confirmation or what we have seen is that they would come as a participant, which I find surprising. Like, you already won a competition, now you have to participate in the next one too. And I think you
With
come
another
with
song.
exactly, it should be with another song because otherwise you come with the advantage that a lot of people may know the song already because it's been going on for months, maybe on the
Months.
radio. If it, if it becomes a big hit, are you going to come with a massive hit that has been top one in 50 countries and are you going to participate? It, it's a strange model if that's what they're doing.
What they would do as you saw it, as a guest or the performer just opening the ceremony alongside last year, well,
But that
this year's data
to
or
me
whatever.
to me that makes sense, but I think what we saw said they would become a
Yeah,
participant.
that's what it said, but uh, we have to make clear we saw this on Instagram. Like, there's nothing confirmed. There was no source mentioned. Nothing was mentioned there. So
Yeah, I mean, what I found interesting is that it was a quote. So if you're quoting something, it should come from somewhere in particular. You shouldn't just be talking about a rumor. We know that some websites are not particular, or some Instagram accounts are not particularly good with these things. So I don't know if this was right.
yeah, we'll see.
So
We'll see.
yeah,
Again, we'll see. It's all about a matter of time, but I think
yeah,
that could be resolved very quickly.
yeah. We'll take it for now as a pinch of salt, and then we'll see.
Yeah. No, I don't think this is happening, but hey ho, we've seen like more surprising things. So
Also, like, if what happens if they win? Are we going to then have Eurovision Asia and Eurovision Europe in Asia? Or is it going to be a situation similar to the Australian one where someone will host it on their behalf? I don't know. It's if that is the model, it doesn't make any sense to me.
no.
Um,
Even though if Canada wins, apparently it could be in Canada.
I think the travel situation is a little bit less complicated for Canada than for Australia. It would
Yeah.
still be a pain to have to take a transcontinental flight. And, in Europe, a lot of people move around in trains.
Hmm.
Are you going
Or
to
in a
have
2-hour flight, you cross Europe, basically.
exactly? Exactly. It's very easy to get an I was gonna say a brand, but like a cheap flight from a low cost. But you don't have a low cost airline to fly to Canada, so you will be reducing the pool of people a lot. Yeah, you might have the advantage that a lot of people in America, as in the US as well, would probably say, "Oh, this is happening," and you would make it more popular there. But yeah, I don't see it. I don't want to see it.
Because
Uh,
you don't want to travel to Canada.
well, I'm sure
Or
Canada is
Eurovision.
I'm sure it's a lovely country, but I don't think traveling to Canada is the optimal way for all the Eurovision fans
Yeah.
to do things.
Yes.
Also, Eurovision tries to be very um, carbon friendly, as in, they do a lot of recycling, they promote reusable cups, they promote, renewable energy sources, etc. Are you going to have now 20,000 fans plus everyone that travels for no reason other than just to be there,
Yeah.
flying across the Atlantic to go to Eurovision? preach what
You know.
you do what you preach. You should do what you preach, and this would not be it.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, let's see. Let's see. We still need to have Canada on stage, and it's happening in May next year. And there's some changes as well to some national finals. This is not a national final because it's Sanremo, but the new artistic director has confirmed that the Friday night for Sanremo, it's going to be dedicated to select the entry for Eurovision. So the winner of Sanremo is no longer the one that goes to Eurovision, or, there's this list of first, second, third that if the one refuses to go, it moves down the list. So the performers who would like to participate in Eurovision, they would have the song adapted for Eurovision, like with backing singers, dancers, and then, all of the stuff. And they can win that night to represent Italy in Eurovision. So that's a total change of plans for Sanremo.
What do you think about it?
The thing is that I don't think there's the need for Italy to do this because either way, they end up very high up every year. Even this year, which was so very different from any Eurovision entry in the last few years, and that in my thinking, maybe it wasn't so Eurovision. And then again, top five. So
I actually agree with doing this. So I'm gonna disagree with you. I
I'm
think
not against, I'm just saying there's no
there
need.
was no need. Yeah, no, I mean, there's no need to do anything in life, really. But I would agree with the fact that some of the songs feel the need to be adapted, although it is true that there is not necessarily a need to do this now because I mean we know that many of the songs come up and then they change and the style. I mean, let's remember Melody, who complained multiple times about what happened to her song. So you can do that anyway. I think for me it's more about the 2024 situation with someone saying, "Well, I don't want to do it." Um, I think Sanremo is such a big competition. Um, you want to give everyone the opportunity to I mean, everyone that deserves it, obviously, to take the opportunity to participate, regardless of how they feel about Eurovision, the political situation, etc. So having that opportunity to say, I don't want to go to Eurovision, therefore I am not going to participate on this particular night, I think it's actually quite a fair one. And um, you know,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
personally I like it.
from that point of view, yes, I agree. I agree that's the right approach. So they don't have the problem of, yeah, I don't want to go because this year Sal Da Vinci won Sanremo, but the person that came second, no, the person that came third, they didn't want to go to Eurovision. So having that filter of if you want to participate in Eurovision, you have to do this night, but if you don't, it's absolutely fine. But again, musically, let's see how much they change the performances and their songs. Maybe some of them they decide not to change
Yeah,
anything and
exactly.
it's just one other night, but with a different price. But musically, I don't think there's the need for that. But organizational kind of approach, yeah, it's maybe easier for Italy to do that.
Yeah, I think it's, even if it's not just about the political situation as well, I think some I mean, I've always had that view that a lot of big artists just don't want to go to Eurovision because they feel anything other than winning is a loss for them, which we know is not the case. And like you say, Italy is always, in an amazing position, but obviously the exposure that comes from winning is the big prize. And if you are a big artist and suddenly you end up in a 10th position, you're like, what happened? And
Hmm.
I think, many comments from big artists from other countries against Eurovision after it's happened come maybe also from that feeling of having lost or having achieved only a mediocre position. Um, So I think even if it's not about the politics of it, some big artists will say, I want to go to Sanremo, but I don't want to be necessarily linked to Eurovision, because
Mm.
I'm not saying there's no respect for the contest, which I'm sure there is, but it's not something that they want to go through. Plus, obviously Eurovision involves 2-3 months of a heavy promotion across Europe, interviews. The week of Eurovision is incredibly testing for everyone. You have to do four, apart from all the rehearsals and so on, but there are 4 performances during semi-final time, 4 performances during the final. It is a lot. So I think it would make more sense. What I was wondering is whether they will say, well, some big artists might go and might decide not to go for Eurovision. Would they consider that in advance and maybe have like wild cards that they use during Eurovision, but or sorry, for the Eurovision night, but not necessarily for the rest of Sanremo? Have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't heard anything. But what I heard is that it has to be the same song. But
Okay, so then
it's the participants. Yeah, it's within the participants of Sanremo. It's not like bringing any extra
you can,
just for one night.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like with a wild card, like having someone that maybe, if all the participants of Sanremo participate in the Eurovision night, then you don't bring anyone. But if suddenly someone says, "No, I'm dropping," can you get an extra?
Yeah, no.
To feeling. That would be an
Mahmoud, come back.
Mahmoud wants to go to Eurovision. He has to come to Eurovision. He wants.
I hope so.
Yeah, there has to be a third one, and the third one will be he will conquer. He will conquer.
Now imagine this is the year that Mahmoud wins Sanremo, and then he doesn't win the Eurovision night, and I won't get to see him in Eurovision.
I'm suddenly corpsing like.
You're gonna have to pull up with this with me, so sorry about it. But well, maybe he doesn't even participate in Sanremo.
I mean, if he brings, I have to say, I've said it before, 2024, I love the song. He could have gone. He probably would have won.
He should have. He should have won Sanremo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's a big enough figure in Europe now as well that a lot of people would vote for him.
Yeah.
Like, I know people that honestly don't watch Eurovision and know who Mahmoud is, and they are not Italians.
See?
So,
we need Mahmoud back.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's everything we have for today. And probably next time we see each other or you listen to our voices. If you are on Spotify, it's going to be about the city and further preparations for Bulgaria. Let's see.
Can you imagine next time we meet, we might have already released our yearly meme about the city. If you have not watched our announcement for Eurovision cities, we have one special one every year, and it's coming again. So please watch that one.
Stay tuned. It's gonna be everywhere.
We do it with love, but we love
it. Oh
yes,
no. It's always with love.
It's very loving, but it's so funny.
Watch out. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Remember, you can watch and listen on YouTube and Spotify, or listen only on Apple Podcast. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review. And don't forget to follow our Instagram and TikTok accounts.